All right, guys, we're back on the Roblox channel for another video. In today's video, we are taking a look at the updated secret style tier list. We have Jinko in the game, and I honestly do think he actually changes the meta a lot for a lot of teams in this game. So if you guys do agree or disagree with me about any of the positions that I do have on the tier list for the secret styles, let me know in the comments, and also let me know by hitting a like on this video. Subscribe if you are new. We are on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're actually almost there. Let's hop right into this. So right off the bat, we're gonna go ahead and talk about Akuto here. So we have S and then we have S plus. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, all of the secrets in this game is absolutely in S tier or S plus tier, with the exception of one style, which we're gonna talk about in a second here. But we'll go ahead look at Akuto here. Akuto, honestly, I'm gonna put him in S tier, right? He's very good in 2v2s, right? If you're putting him the twins overall, right? Let's just say the twins overall. If you're having the twins on one team in your 2v2 or even 3v3, they really do make a big difference in terms of what you're able to do with your serves, right? The ability to have that float serve in either the back or the front line is very powerful, and it actually is hard to save those. Like you guys see in my videos, sometimes I struggle a lot, I'm not gonna lie. So we're gonna put him in the S plus. He doesn't really do anything else other than serve, right? You can use him as the setter, however a lot of us, we really don't use him as a setter, right? So it is what it is for that style. Next up, we're gonna talk about time skip Kiyamo. Honestly, I'm putting him in the S plus tier. You guys know Kiyamo is very good, right? He's the only setter in this game that has the ball stop, and you're able to make so many plays when you're coming to delaying the ball or just hitting it really fast, right? The amount of confusion that you can put on the enemy team just by him sending the ball and having it stop is very powerful. You can also spike with him, right? Obviously every setter you can spike with, but their spiking power is not too good, but he has really good serve, and obviously the set is going to be really good. Speed and jump also very powerful, and that's honestly a big difference that is there between him and Akuto here. Is this the jump? To be honest, I feel like Akuto's jump should be a lot higher, so that way you're not missing the ball sometimes when you are throwing it up. But I understand why they did make it so it's a little bit lower, so that way you can delay the jump a little bit, so that way you're able to get that ball to come up further towards the net, right? So I do think that's where they do stand out a little bit here. Next is definitely not Suchiro here. That's going to go all the way down there. We're not taking a look at them, all right? We're going to be taking a look at just the secret styles here. So next we have Sanju. Where would I place Sanju? All right, now this is very tricky. You guys know me. I love this style. This is probably my favorite style in the entire game since I actually started playing this game and I pulled him. I've been using this style every single day, and well, I shouldn't say every single day. There's some times where I don't use them, right? But for the most part of my YouTube career on this game, Sono is almost in every single video that I do have of me using him, right? So where would I put this? My heart is telling me he is S plus, right? But I'm not gonna lie to you guys, we might have to put him in the S tier, right? S tier simply because all he does is 100% spike. That's it, right? His tilting ability is very good, right? Not too different than Jinko, and in my opinion, I do prefer tilting more than the spin ability. I'm gonna tell you guys why when we get to Jinko in a second here, but personally, it is a personal opinion, I do think tilting is better. Which one is more beneficial to the team? That is depending on how you use each style, right? So when we get to Jinko, I'll tell you guys exactly the difference between these two. But for now, I do think he is S tier, right? A very good spiking character that doesn't really do anything else other than spike, right? He doesn't have a good serve. His speed is pretty mid, and everything else is also very mid, right? So I think he deserves that spot up in the S tier, even though he is my favorite style in this game right now. All right, next up we have time skip Hinto. All right, so that is also, I'm not gonna lie, I would put him slightly above Akuto here. He just is good at everything he does, right? I do think all the spikers, with the exception of one, are going to be S tier here. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I do think he is S tier, but he is at the absolute top of S tier. If you are a really good time skip Hinata player, you're probably always going to beat the Sono players, right? That's how I feel like, especially in 2v2s. The ability to hit that ball so fast to the point where the ball always constantly goes down. The only reason why the ball ends up going out of bounds sometimes if you're back tilting with time skip Hinata is if you're like really close to the net, or you're just not getting that charge spike off, right? When you do get that charge spike off, the ball goes down a lot faster because of how fast it is moving, right? So I do think this style is very good. It's a very good style to confuse your opponents on where you're going, because you're constantly moving, so they don't even know how to guard you or defend, right? But I would put him definitely at the top of S tier here. Next up, we have Okazu. All right, so this is one of the styles where I would actually not put anywhere in S or S plus. I would actually put him in the A tier here. The only thing he does is his serving, right? And his serving is actually not even that good unless you're in 2v2s. You can pretty much save this every single time if you receive it properly, right? And if your team is actually locked in with being able to run over to the other side. Let's just say that everyone is absolutely locked in and they do save the ball. You're going to be able to run to get the ball and then make your plays that way, right? So while the ability to rainbow serve and knock your opponent back is very good, I don't believe that this style actually deserves that S tier. If it does, it would be at the very bottom of S tier, or not even at the very bottom. It would just be towards the bottom of S tier, right? But I feel like it is deserving of that A tier spot because, one, you can actually set with him, but he's just like any other setter in the game, right? Like all he does is set. He doesn't have any special ability when it comes to setting or anything like that. So like I said, a setter on the team is very good, right? Regardless, but being an A tier doesn't mean that you're a bad style, right? Like it is a good style, but it's just not as good as the S tier styles, right? Or the S plus, right? So very, very good. Taicho, he is absolutely going to go in that S tier. I don't think he's on that level of Timeskip Kiyamo. I think Kiyamo is actually, he's in a level of his own when it comes to just the setting, right? As a setting style, Timeskip Kiyamo is just the best style in the game. If you do have him, I would almost every single time rather a Timeskip Kiyamo over the Taicho. I'm gonna tell you guys why in a second here. Taicho, I don't like the fact that Taicho's his spiking extra power that he does give to the spikers sometimes is a double-edged sword, right? Like if you hit the ball too hard, that is going out of bounds, especially if you're using it with Jinko. It actually limits Jinko's curve because the ball is moving so fast, right? So I'm not sure if I actually do end up liking his extra power he gives on the spike. However, he is still a good setter. The ball does stop just a little bit. It doesn't stop for too long, not as much as Timeskip Kiyamo's, but it doesn't stop enough to be able to be as good as Timeskip Kiyamo, right? But overall, I think it is a good style, right? The serving is very good, speed, jump, everything is very good that he does, and he's mainly just a setter, right? So I do think he is deserving of that S tier spot. Very good style overall. Next up, all right, guys, we have Kiseki here. Where would I put this style? Very bottom of A tier. And the only reason why, again, he's not a bad style, right? He is absolutely not a bad style. He has max speed, max bump, max set, jump very good, serve very good, spike is kind of mid. Obviously, the dive is going to be rainbow, right? The only reason why he is at the bottom is because he literally is simply just a backup character, right? Like he's there just to defend. And as we know, if you're just defending in this game, unless you're like the #1 Kiseki player in this game, it really doesn't do anything. You can defend with any other style in this game just as much as you can defend with Kiseki. If you are a good Kiseki, I'm not gonna lie to you, it actually does make a big difference having a really good Kiseki in the game, right? Because you're probably not going to be able to get a score in. Gonna be honest with you, I've played against a few good Kisekis, but they're very rare, right? They're very rare style, or people out there that actually is good with this style, because you gotta be good at only one thing, and that is defending, right? But I'm gonna put him at the bottom of A tier here, and these are the only two styles that I'm actually gonna have here. I'm gonna be real with you guys, the only two style. Next style we have is Kazana. Kazana is going to be in the S tier. I think he's gonna be a little bit weaker than Sanu here, and that is because of Sanu being just a pure hitter that is just a lot better in terms of with the tilt, right? Tilting is definitely better than this Kazana style. Kazana style is basically like boom jump, but boom jump for Kazana is not that good. The boom jump, I feel like, is a lot more unpredictable, whereas Kazana has the animation where it lets people know that he's going to be jumping in the air. And while the style is very good, right, I don't find myself using that ability a lot, but just having the ability to boom jump is actually really good, right? His stats overall is very good as well. Everything he does is absolutely good. All I can say is like he's a very good balanced style, right? So he does deserve that S tier spot here. We're gonna save Jinko for last, right? Next up we have Mikage. All right, where would I put Mikage, guys? I'm not gonna lie to you, especially for 2v2s or just anything here. His ghost block ability and everything like that. I'm gonna be honest, guys. Hear me out. We're putting him in S+. He does so much for the team when it comes to blocking. His set stat is not the best, obviously, but everything else, very good. He is a good spiker, good server, jump being max, block being max. He is very good. The amount of points that I can get from just blocking the ball, especially with the ghost arm, right, is ridiculous. I am always terrified whenever I see a Mikage on the team because I already know. I just know he's blocking every single spike that I get. Every single spike. And Mikage literally carried me to pro rank in 2v2s. I went from literally, I used Mikage from all the way from bronze all the way up to pros, and I was on like the highest win streak I've ever had in my entire life in this game, right? And it was simply because of the blocks in 2v2s. If you're able to read properly with Mikage, he is insane. So I'm going to put him at the bottom of S+ tier here, and I do think he actually does deserve that spot. He's very, very, very good, and I think if you guys do have him, you should definitely be using him for one. And don't let people's words get to you, because a lot of people actually don't like the fact that you block in this game, which blocking is in the game for a reason. So if you have a blocking style, go ahead and block. And again, you can, that's not his only way to score. You can have score by serving, you can score by spiking as well. So very, very, very good style overall. Next up we have Jinko. I think Jinko is absolutely the best style in the game right now. Like I said, his spin ability is very good. That's where he gets his curve, right? But not only does he have a really good spin ability, right? His serving is basically similar to Akuto. I'm not going to say it's the same because it actually is not the same. I think the twins float serve is a lot better than the curve serve that Jinko does have. However, it is almost similar and it can catch people off guard if done correctly. Spin, being able to curve the ball past the block and just around and get those edges off the line, very, very good. And you're able to literally do some crazy techs with this style. Like you can hit the ball, cross the entire map, and the ball will come back down to the net and go in. Like that makes no sense. You guys saw the short and TikTok that I posted on this style doing that. And the fact that you can just spike the ball so close to the net is absolutely amazing as well. I do still prefer tilt, and the only reason why is when you are using the curve ability with Jinko, and you're using the S tilt, I should say, right? The curve actually does slow the ball down a lot, I'm not gonna lie. Whereas with Sono, if you're using S tilt and just a left tilt or a right tilt, the ball stays at a consistent speed and it goes down a lot faster than Jinko's, and that's why I do prefer the tilt. But again, overall, the curve is technically better than the tilt because of the ability to literally curve around the entire defense, right? And just being that unpredictable style. That's why it's the Joker style, right? It's just very unpredictable. But yeah, I do think he is the best style in the game right now. And if a lot of you guys do have him, I know a lot of you guys are struggling to use him because there is a bit of a skill curve when it comes to using him. And even myself, I'm not the best player with this style, and I will become a really good player with it once I use it a lot more. But as we stand right now, it's just I'm not the best player with it. There's a lot better people out there that know a lot more when it comes to the text to use with this style. But yeah, there you have it. That is the tier list, the secret style tier list for Volleyball Legends, and this is, in my opinion, I think everything is very accurate in terms of what I said here. Maybe you could say Mikage might not be accurate. Maybe he's not S+, could be at the top of S, but I do think everything here is actually spot on. Let me know if you guys do agree in the comments below. See you guys in the next one. Peace.